What's up, guys? It's Angelica Alumia with Pacific Video here at the Know Your Rank workshops, June 26, 2010. And I got one of the instructors today, Tsunami from Flowology. Hello. Hello. So why don't you tell us about your house, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about how the workshop just went. You just taught.
It was great. We had a full class and there was a lot of energy, and those kids actually picked up really fast, and it was just great. It's always, you come to a workshop and you never know who's going to come, and the level that you're going to have of experience with dancers, and this was all over the board, but everyone just took it in, and it's kind of different with house because like with choreography, you give you the steps, boom, that's what you do. The arms, everything's exactly the same for everybody. But with house, it's a lot more of a personal style. So I'm just trying to give the tools for people to learn some basic moves that they can take and create as their own and move as they want. I'm not telling them to have their arms here,
That's what I liked, seeing in the beginning, you were just telling them it's more about feeling.
Like I like to play like this game actually, where it's when you're listening to a song, you just don't listen to it as a whole.
Right.
You're really listening to the individual elements of the song, the instruments, the vocals, the bass, or there's lots of different levels in there.
Right.
And I like to just really try and tune in to certain aspects. Say it's the piano, and then it's the the snare or something like that. And really try to connect and play with that element within the song, because that really gets you into it. It's not just you're dancing to the boom boom,
right.
Just that steady beat that a lot of other styles typically do.
Right.
But this technique or theory really can be applied to any style dance. It's just really like becoming one with that music and expressing your movement of what that music's telling you to do.
Right. Well, dance, like just with anything, everything evolves. Like, how has house evolved today?
It's come a long way. It's starting out with house music from the late 70s, early 80s, and just all that. That's what my little history lesson in the beginning was, just to try to get people to understand where the house music has come from. From just the classic disco to a little more of the electro, little harder tech beats and electronic beats, and and where it is today, like, South Africa's taken over house music right now. They're creating amazing music, and, it's just people are exploring with gospel, with R&B, with jazz, with Afro, like, just, there's so much to it. So before, it was just literally spawning off of classic, or, like classic disco, and, it's just, it's its own culture and its own,
Definitely. Like, do you feel like it is necessary, like important for dancers to know these things, like the history of house and all?
Absolutely. You just like you can't have a day job without some sort of background of what you're doing.
Right.
I think it's important with any dance style to know. If you're a classical ballet trainer, you better know. The foreground. The mothers of ballerinas. Like the primas, or famous tap dancers, or whatever it is, whatever style. Like know and respect where it's come from, where it's grown from, and try to carry on the traditions, as well as helping it evolve. Right. A lot of people can take styles and misuse it, and miseducate, and it gets twisted and generic, and just it falls apart, and it's kind of scary. It's crazy. Like, maybe 10 years ago there wasn't so much of the education being put out there, but now a lot of the OGs, especially in house, they're really starting to put out information and documentaries of where the movements came from, giving credit to those that founded it, as well as just trying to teach it the basics and the foundation, and so that's kind of what, like, Flowology and myself, that's what we're doing here in the Bay, is helped carrying that knowledge and history forward, as well as help letting it grow.
Exactly. And then, okay, so you did mention Flowology. Tell us a little bit more about that and what you guys have coming up.
Flowology Dance Collective is our house company, or freestyle company here in the Bay Area, based mostly out of Fremont, San Francisco. We're all over.
Yeah, plug it, girl. Like, where can people get more information?
You can go to mindbodyflow.com, and it's FLO.com, as in Flowology. So
check it out, you guys. Awesome. Thank you so much, Tsunami. You had a wonderful class from what I saw, and I will definitely try to take it next time,
Sure.
Tsunami, Angelica, Pacific Video.